supposedly if Allah is supposed to be God, that none of his words can be tampered with. So that doesn't make any sense. All right, so now let's get into some of the contradictions that are found in the Quran. All right, first of all, in the Bible, it tells you that the Lord created everything in 6 days, right? Now, in the Quran, a few parts tell you that he created everything in 6 days, but then when you read on to other parts, it will tell you that things were created in 8 days. There's a contradiction right there. And like I said, this show isn't out here to attack our Muslim brothers. We love all our brothers, no matter what philosophy you follow. All right. But at the same time, we have to bring out the truth about what our people should and should not be following. When you read the Bible, the Lord gave our people, the American Negroes, West Indians, and Hispanics, the real Jews, the real Israelites, a set of biblical laws to follow. And he said, follow those laws and I'll set you on high above all nations of the earth. But now when we didn't follow the laws, the Lord put a curse on us and threw us in this lower state. In the ghettos, the slums, the projects, poverty, racial oppression, discrimination, everything. That's all found in the Bible. All right. So should our brothers be following the philosophy of Islam, the philosophy of the Arabs? No. But let's go into this contradiction that's found in the Quran further that's proving it. This is the table. I'm sorry. This is Surah number 7, verse 54. Let's see. And it reads, your guardian Lord is Allah, who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. Then he settled himself on the throne. So it says 6 days here. But now let's jump over to Surah 41 and see the contradiction and see what it says. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, this is Surah 41 and 9. And by the way, this is for those of you who are familiar with the Quran and different translations, this is the Abdullah Yusuf Ali translation. All right. So now let's read this. This is Surah 41 and 9. Now remember, we just read in the other Surah 754, that everything was created in 6 days. Let's see what it says here. In this Surah 41, it says, say, is it that ye deny him who created the earth in 2 days? Created the earth in 2 days now. So that's 2. And ye join equals to him. He is the Lord of all the worlds. Verse 10, he set up the earth, mountains standing firm high above it, and bestowed blessings on the earth, and measured therein its sentence for 4 days. So that's 4, 2 and 4 is 6, alike for all who ask. Let's jump to verse 12. It says, so he completed them as 7 firmaments in 2 days. So let's do the math. 2 days, then 4 days, 4 plus 2 is 6, then 2 more days is 8. Let's read verse 12. So he commanded them as 7 firmaments in 2 days, and he assigned to each heaven its duty and command. But now we just read in the other surah that what? Everything was created in 6 days. But here it's saying 8 days. Contradictions. Another contradiction is everyone remembers the Pharaoh. Everyone remembers the story of Moses when he led the Israelites, our forefathers, our ancestors out of Egypt. They crossed the Red Sea, and the Egyptians were killed in the Red Sea because the Lord closed it down on them. Now, in one part of the Quran, it says that what? Pharaoh was preserved alive, but in another part, it says that what? Pharaoh was killed. Another contradiction. Let's show that. This is Surah number 10. Surah number 10. And we'll also get Surah number 17 to make it go quicker. So now this is Surah number 10, 90 to 92. It says, we took the children of Israel across the sea. Pharaoh and his hosts followed them in insolence and spite. Right? So everybody knows the story of Moses, the Red Sea and everything. At length, when overwhelmed with the flood, he said, when Pharaoh said, I believe that there is no God except him who the children of Israel believe in. I am of those who submit to Allah and Islam. So they're saying this is what Pharaoh said. This is not what happened, but this is what the Quran is saying, what Pharaoh said. It was said to him, now, but a little while before wast thou in rebellion, and thou didst mischief and violence. This day shall we save thee. This day shall we save thee in thy body, that thou mayest be a sign to those who come after thee. But verily, many among mankind are heedless of our signs. So it's showing you that what? In one part of Quran, in this surah, which is surah number 10, it's saying that Pharaoh, instead of crossing the Red Sea, instead of dying in the Red Sea, was preserved because he submitted to Allah. But now let's jump to Surah 17 and read 102 and 3. It says, Moses said, Thou knowest well that these things have been sent down by none but the Lord of the heavens and the earth as eye-opening evidence. And I consider thee indeed, O Pharaoh, to be one doomed to destruction. So he resolved to remove them from the face of the earth. But we did drown Pharaoh, and all who were with him. So now, which is it? But it's showing you the contradiction. One says Pharaoh was preserved in the body, one part of the Quran, and another part of the Quran said that he was drowned with all that were with him. Showing you the what? Contradiction of the Quran. Why? Because it's not an authentic book. Like, as I stated before, this is something that Muhammad, like we went through the history in the last show, took some of his beliefs along with the beliefs of the Israelites and mingle them together to create Islam. All right. Like I said before, this isn't an attack on our Muslim brothers and sisters, but what? We have to learn to follow the truth. And the truth is not Islam. All right. The truth is found in the Bible. All right. Not Christianity and religions. No, that's not the truth either. We did a show on that. But the truth is that what? You so-called American Negroes, West Indians, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, you're the real Israelites. You're the real Jews. The Lord gave us a biblical law to keep. A law that was set us on high above all nations. When we broke those laws, he threw us down into this low condition, this low state. Of all the people on the earth, why are we at the bottom? You ever ask yourself that? Or you just go and live life and don't worry about anything? Oh, we just at the bottom. You understand what I'm saying? No, you have to ask yourself these questions. Why are things the way they are? Why is the white race on top and you're at the bottom? All right, what makes them better than us? What makes us worse than them? The answer is in the Bible. We broke the biblical laws of the Heavenly Father. And we have to learn that. We have to come back to that. Not follow Islam and philosophies of the Arabs. Why would you even follow Islam? It's the philosophy of the Arabs. The Arabs aren't even your people. All right? The Israelites, the Jews, the real Jews are black, who are also the prophets that wrote the Bible. Those are your people. All right? When you go into the history, initially when Islam began, all right, it wasn't even for all nations. It was mainly for the Arabs. But as they began to conquer, they decided to keep the people that they were conquering in subjection. They had to convert them to Islam by the sword. All right, but now let's get one more contradiction. Like I said, there are many contradictions, but because the time is short, we're just going to pull a few out of the Bible. This is, let's see. This is Surah 39 and 12. Let's go into that. All right. Let's go into that. And as stated before, for those of you who are familiar with the different translations of the Quran, this is the Abdullah Yusuf Ali translation or version. All right. Now the question remains, bear me 1 second, as to who was the first Muslim. When you go into the Quran, another contradiction shows you that what?